Joseph Jean Arthur Beliveau was a Canadian professional ice hockey player. He played parts of 20 seasons with the National Hockey League's Montreal Canadiens from 1950 to 1971. He was nicknamed Le Gros Bill. Beliveau ranks among the 10 greatest NHL players. Beliveau first played professionally in the Quebec Major Hockey League. He made his NHL debut with the Canadiens in 1950 but chose to remain in the QMHL full-time until 1953. By his second season in the NHL, Beliveau was among the top 3 scorers. He was the 4th player to score 500 goals and the 2nd to score 1,000 points. Beliveau won 2 Hart Memorial Trophies, 1956, 1964, and 1 Art Ross Memorial Trophy, 1956, as well as the inaugural Conn Smythe Trophy, 1965. Beliveau was already a star at 15 when spotted by Canadiens general manager Frank Selke, who sought to sign him to an NHLC form. The standard league contract for young players at that time, it would have required Beliveau to join the Canadiens at a set date and agreed-upon salary. When his father balked, Beliveau signed a B form instead, agreeing to play for Montreal should he ever decide to turn pro. Beliveau was called up twice for brief appearances by the Canadiens in 1950-51 and 1952-53, each time playing the minimum number of games that an amateur could play at the professional level. He led the Quebec Senior Hockey League in scoring in 1953. However, he did not appear to show much interest in playing professionally. Finally, Selke got an idea. If the QSHL were somehow turned into a professional league, Beliveau would be a professional as well, and under the terms of the B form he would have to sign with the Habs. At Selke's suggestion, the Canadiens owners, the Canadian Arena Company, bought the QSHL and converted it from an amateur league to a minor pro league. This forced Beliveau to join the Canadiens for the 1953-54 NHL season, though the Habs owned the NHL rights to all of the league's players in any case. Beliveau retired at the end of the 1970-71 NHL season as his team's all-time leader in points, second all-time in goals and the NHL's all-time leading playoff scorer. He scored 507 goals and had 712 assists for 1,219 points in 1,125 NHL regular season games plus 79 goals and 97 assists for 176 points in 162 playoff games. His jersey number 4 was retired on October 9, 1971. In 1972, he was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. He is now the 2nd all-time leading scorer in Canadiens history, behind Guy Lafleur. Only Henry Richard, 1256 games, and Larry Robinson, 1202 games, played more games for the Habs. Beliveu's name appears on the Stanley Cup a record 17 times, including 7 times as an executive for the Canadiens, 1973, 1976, 1977, 1978, 1979, 1986, 1993. In addition to winning the Hart Trophy as league MVP twice, he finished 2nd in the voting a further 4 times and 3rd once. As well, in addition to winning the Art Ross Trophy as the leading scorer once, he finished 2nd twice and 3rd 4 times, illustrating his remarkable long-term consistency. In 1998, the Hockey News named Beliveau the 7th greatest NHL player of all time. Upon his retirement, the Canadiens named Beliveau a vice president and director of public relations. Beliveau was never known as an activist during his playing days. However, he was one of several players who threatened to pull out of the Hall of Fame if disgraced ex-NHLPA executive director Alan Eagleson had been allowed to stay in after being convicted of fraud and embezzlement. He also supported the NHL's position during the 2004-05 NHL lockout, arguing that the players' demands would damage the sport and the league.